Madness Podcast, the best of the underground. Make madness your ritual.
Hey, what's going on, folks? We got a special podcast happening today. It is a Wednesday. I think it's like the 24th or something of May. I am kind of in the middle of the week. I don't have a podcast this Friday, so I'm doing something special for y'all. Now, I know if you've been paying attention to the podcast, I've actually talked about this music festival a couple times. Slam Dakota Fest in Sioux Falls, South Dakota at Biggs. It is a fantastic fest. I've been there, I think, 2 years in a row now, 3 years in a row. And let me tell you what, it's a blast every time. Always really cool to hang out with all the bands. And I've been able to photograph the show a couple times too. And it's a good time. I want to say what's up to everybody, and thank you for tuning in. By the way, do me a favor, check out Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective. If you're looking to get tattooed, do me a favor and hit Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective 612-353-4755, or hit them up lowbrowsaints@gmail.com. If you got some ideas or you want to get some artwork done, or somebody's name, your mom's name, your dad's dog, something like that, give them a shout again. That's Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective 612-353-4755. lowbrowsaints@gmail.com. I am fortunate to be able to speak with Les. How you doing, Les? You there?
I'm good. How are you doing today, Greg?
Not too bad. Driving around, are you?
Yeah, I'm just driving back and forth between the jobs. You ready to go and do my weekend up at the bar?
Oh man, you're busy bee. You've always got something going on. You were just saying you work what, 3 jobs or something crazy?
Yes, I do. I'm the assistant manager over at Biggs now, and I bartend there as well. And then I also have 2 healthcare gigs that I kind of rotate back and forth between.
Jesus, busy bee. Now, how do you find time to do? Well, it's been coined as the most vicious fest in the Midwest. How do you find time to do that? How long have you been doing this?
I don't know if I do.
How did you get started doing this?
Out on multiple festivals before that, and Slam Dakota just kind of started when there was a bunch of bands from the regional area that kind of wanted the same date, so we had so much fun we figured we'd do it again. Oh, nice. And it was just some regional bands that were trying to get, like, all coming into town at the same time, huh? Roughly, we got another party that was when we saw the first from Kansas City. I think we had Road on it that year. I had Anger Rock in town. Surely it come down. That was when I believe it was Chronographer and Xenophobic were first doing their first tour run, so they originally hit up for the dates, and that just brought everybody together. Party that was still just a 1-day festival we were doing back then.
So did you move?
We got. Oh, sorry.
No. You're cutting in and out a little bit, but it started as a single-day festival and slowly morphed into a 2-day thing, huh?
Uh-huh.
And it was just did you get so many bands and such a good response that people wanted to keep doing it, or what? Yeah,
that's the gist of it. And then I think with having 2 days, it gives us more of a reason to travel. It's hard to take off 1 day for work, especially because Sioux Falls is a great location. We're about 3.5 hours from you. We're about 3.5 hours from Fargo. We're 3 hours from Omaha, about 8 from Denver. But to do that driving for just 1 day, sometimes, it's almost too much. Like, you want a reason to go leave town for a weekend.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, the show is enough, but to make it a vacation, make a thing of it.
Yeah, and it seems like, I mean, the last couple of years I've been there, it seems like there are people from all over the states, like, coming together and getting together and partying together and, like, having a really good time. I don't think I've seen anything bad happen at any of these Slam Dakota Fest.
No, I've been very fortunate. I mean, there's always been a few incidents, but nothing that was malicious or, nothing that wasn't anything we couldn't handle. You're always going to have somebody get a little too carried away and have too many cocktails and need to sit down, chill out a little bit, or
stuff like that. We had a medical emergency one year. It wasn't very much fun, but everybody ended up okay. And that's about all that you can hope for anytime you're dealing with people and like music and booze.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this is your 6th year now. Now, did you think that this thing was going to grow into an annual thing, or was that something that you kind of, it just kind of happened that way?
I think it just kind of happened that way. This year, it was just really busy for me, and I kind of wanted to put it off a while. It just seems like there's just so, during COVID and stuff like that, there really wasn't much going off, and now everything is going on everywhere. It's been really hard to coordinate. My boss was like, you just need to do it this year. Like, this is something people look forward to every year. And the bar, even we've got a couple phone calls there. We've got some people traveling in from Florida this year. Actually, just had a lot of questions about the venue that they're coming up.
That's fantastic.
People are just excited to go do something. Yeah, it's been mind-blowing, honestly.
Now with South Dakota, though, I mean, you guys didn't really close down all that bad for the COVID situation, did you?
No, we did not. And that was one of the things that I think really kind of pushed this thing, because it was like, well, this is I think it was the only festival in the whole Midwest or in the whole country that year, honestly.
Yeah, that was a fun one too.
Metal, because everything else was so indecisive on whether or not they were going to be able to do it. So many bands weren't sure if they were going to be able to travel. It was just a lot on the entertainment and music industry during that.
Yeah, and you're right too. I mean, it seems like after this whole COVID nonsense happened, everybody realized that being out and playing and being out in front of crowds and shit is like, they really missed out for that whole year. I mean, it seemed like everybody's super stoked to get out and start all over again and get out there and just push it hard.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's been really good for us in a lot of ways. I mean, not that they're not so risk associated. I mean, I work in healthcare. I've seen firsthand the repercussions of some of those actions, but that's also.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a crazy deal. Now, how did you end up hooking up with Biggs now? How did Biggs get involved in this whole thing too?
I accidentally got hired there. It'll be 6 years in September. I really was not looking for a part-time job, and I kind of needed somebody. I helped. And 50 gallons of Jello was a terrific disaster. I'm not going to lie about that one. I'm sure some music. I'm standing around the other night. I was like, oh, God, how are we going to clean this up? They're like, well, we are. You're going to bartend. I was like, I'm going to what? They're like, no, you know how. Get back there and figure it out. So I did, and I got put on the schedule after that. And I guess they like having me around. And
yeah, it seems.
And they support me so much. I'm really lucky to work at a venue that does support me and my weird music.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That is a thing, man. And when I think of South Dakota or something like that, I think of country music for some odd reason, and I don't know why I correlate the two together, but there seems like to be. It's like a weird spot for this type of music in South Dakota.
It is, and I have a lot of country shows, but at the same time, it's part of location-wise is that we are close to everywhere else.
Yeah.
And that this venue does let me, they look at me a little crazy when I mention some of the band names, but it's not a venue I have to constantly fight with. I can be like, hey, I'm going to do this year, and not having to do that when I see the struggles some of my other promoter friends have to go through. It's really a blessing.
Right. Yeah.
And I like the location. I mean, there's plenty of room for vans, for load in, load out, for me to set up an outdoor stage. It's out, so I have to deal with a lot of zoning and other building difficulties other people have to go through. It's just really easy on that end of it for me.
Oh yeah, and that's one of the things I love the most about that venue too is the ability to do the outside stage. And the few years that I've been there, you've been super lucky to have really good weather. You know what I mean? And like in the evenings it cools down, and like the lights and the smoke. And I've captured some really really cool stuff with Krog there a couple years back too. And that outdoor stage just adds a whole nother level to that fest. I really like it.
I think you agree. I really like the outdoor stage because it gives me more time for the bands to set up, and they can bring the drummers can bring their own kit. You got a half hour in between. You can't get stuff on and off the stage. Like I'm probably going to come yell at you anyway. That's plenty of time for you to get it together. But then everybody isn't feeling as rushed. They've got time to do a sound check. And then nobody has to miss out on anything. Nobody's standing around waiting with no music and getting bored. You just rotate back and forth between the two of them until my sound permit expires.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's one of the only fests I really feel like I've been able to do that with, versus some of the other ones where like both the stages are indoors or both of them are outdoors, where you get like the mix where you don't have to be as overheated, or the smokers don't have to miss the sex. They know they're going to be outside in half an hour.
Right. And what's really nice about too the last couple of years that I've been there, it's been ridiculous hot, and it's nice to be able to go outside, enjoy a show outside, get some food from the vendors, you know, some good beers. Last year you had a like a specialty beer too, didn't you?
Yes, I had a Slam Dakota sour, and this year I'm going to be doing a Slam Dakota honey ale, and it's really neat. John, he helps me with the outdoor lighting situation. It's Apex Lighting, fantastic to deal with. He also owns like a bee farm and so from Little Hillshire, and he donated a lot of the honey, so it's going to be like a custom honey blend. And then the brewery I work with, they grow everything they can right on site there, right outside of town.
Wow, that's awesome.
So it's a very, it's really natural and homegrown as far as all that kind of stuff goes. And that's one of the things I like about the fest is that I feel like we've grown it from the roots up.
Right.
And this is something everybody in the Midwest has had a part in, that this is something we all have decided we're going to do. Even on the days I don't feel like I'm going to do it, I'll have people text me and call me like, hey, where you at on this? Can you get this moving?
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. And it, like I said, and then being able to enjoy the refreshments and you know, party outside and have a good time, and then come back in and cool off in the air conditioned area with a nice, I have to say, Biggs has a fantastic stage. It's nice and deep, nice and wide. You know, you guys were staggering kits, you know, one band having a kid on the right side, and then another kid on the left, and sharing the backlines. It seems like that you've streamlined it quite well.
That is due to my sound and light technicians that I work with full time. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, we've all had to learn how to do this together more efficiently.
Yeah.
And it was really their idea to start doing it that way. And now we've just got to work as a team. I'm like, this is who's going to be the next one up here. And then they'll tell me when they're ready. I'll go holler at a band, because I kind of run around a mile because you've seen me.
Yep,
but
absolutely.
for the most part, I'm like, when you see this band taking off their shit, you're going to start going up there. Like, usually when we do loading, I kind of go over that rough draft with whoever, whoever I'm coming in, loading in. And then, I don't know, it seemed to work out really well and give us all that much extra time to really perfect the sound and have everybody comfortable and ready to get on the stage, instead of it being like, all right, we're or God knows, is that band late? Where are they at?
Yeah. Now, since the beginning, are there any bands that you've used every single year, or have you mixed it up every year?
This will be the first year without Gorgatron. And honestly, it just kind of ended up with, we've ended up with Gorgatron, but they're going to be on their European tour. And Cam is down to determine that I just hang up the backdrop and we just have somebody come and do some midget wrestling or something for their set. Just so they can pretend they're there, because that sounds like something Gorgatron would do.
Yeah, for sure. That, you know what,
I will be missing them.
That's definitely something you should incorporate as some midget wrestling or some midget tossing or something.
We actually just had midget wrestling recently at the bar, and it takes quite a while to set up that ring and do all that kind of stuff. I haven't really figured out a way to make that work with the way I have it set up, but it's definitely something I've considered before.
Fuck, do it outside in the parking lot, man. That would be fantastic. Now, what was it? What was the Elbow Deep was the band last year, correct?
They were so rowdy. I don't think my style guys have forgiven me for that one yet.
What was so great about that is I was standing next to their in the crowd plant, and I was like standing there, and the bassist and this guy in the crowd start kind of monkeying around. They're doing a beer bong. All of a sudden, this guy pisses off the other guy, and then before you know it, the dude in the crowd jumps up on the stage, and he's getting smashed in the head with light bulbs and getting shit stapled to his head. I mean, it was I was fooled for about 5 seconds, and I looked over and I go, oh, this is an old school wrestling trick where they have a guy in the crowd come and get all mad and things happen. It was awesome to see that type of shit, and they're like, that dude stapled all kinds of bills to his ass cheeks and like his stomach. I mean, his head. I mean, it was. If you haven't had a chance to see Elbow Deep yet, those guys are fantastic.
Yeah, they definitely need to come back. I try to mix up our lineup, but man, I've had so many killer bands. This gets hard to.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to watch them again. Like Angelic Desolation, their set last year, they did the crazy abortion thing outside. I mean, that's going to be hard to. That was nuts, too.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then what was it, Troglodyte last year? That was a highlight last year. I really liked those guys. Those guys put on a great show. There was a few standout bands last year. The year before was phenomenal. Was that the year that you had? God, who the hell did you have that year? You had some pretty big swingers the year before too. But this year you've got Pyrexia, Abolishment of Flesh, Summoning the Lich, Anger Rot. You've got a ton of bands, and you grabbed a couple from Minnesota too, which much love for you for doing that stuff. You did that last year as well. You gave some young up and comers some spots, and I see that Pursuit is on the bill again this year, which is fantastic. Those guys
this will be their first year playing with me.
Yeah, Fargo Moorhead kids, and those guys are fantastic. They throw down, and Poon Tickler comes back for another year, huh?
Oh, I had it. Yeah, they hit me up, and they're like, "We just want to come back." And I was like, can't even say no to you guys ever. Probably that's fantastic people to deal with. It's so much fun.
Who played drums for them for a little while last year?
It was a drummer from
Unmerciful?
Malignancy. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? It was a drummer from Malignancy.
Oh, Malignancy.
Alex?
Yeah, from New York, right? That's where they're from, Malignancy?
Yep.
Yeah, and he came up.
Yep.
It was so funny to see them because then I saw them shortly after somewhere too, and they were just doing the program drums, and it was kind of funny because you could tell they were just winging it and having a good time, and they're super fun folks to watch play too. So this is Friday, June 9th and Saturday, June 10th. Now you moved it this year, right? This is a different.
Yeah. I've kind of been playing with dates throughout the year, and last year I ran into some problems. We have a local thing that it affects downtown more than me, but it did make getting to food trucks and vendors like my stage stuff like that a little more challenging.
Yeah.
So I tried moving it this year because I still want to have it apart with the rest of the trifecta. And it's only far enough away from CDX, more in the heart of Texas, that people that want to go to all of them, or people like me that need to be at all of them, still can't.
Right.
And when me and Miguel first started working together, we'd originally talked about kind of running more like so bands could all network together and maybe play them all.
Yeah.
And then after the year, we all got COVID. We were like, well, you need some time off even just to move and breathe. Like, even people don't get sick. That's just, you got to have some space between to recover. The last couple of years, I mean, I can barely walk and I don't have a voice usually.
Oh, yeah. You were having a hard time last year.
Sometimes by the end of the day, too.
Yeah. Yeah, you were having a hard time last year. I was really surprised you weren't you didn't have one of those little voice box deals. You know what I'm saying?
I probably should. I mean, one of these years I get smart and do that. But definitely by Sunday. I'm doing a brunch thing again at Woody's. Everybody's welcome to attend. They get us some breakfast stuff and drink specials for us, and that's kind of my time to unwind and catch up because I am so busy running around.
Yeah, and give everybody hugs.
Like sign language. Yeah.
Right.
You know me. I'm usually good for that.
Now what are you offering at the fest this year? I know you had a couple different food trucks last year. You had the specialty beer last year. You said you're doing a honey ale or something this year. And
yeah, we're doing a honey ale. For the food truck on Friday night, we're gonna have Wagyu burgers. Their menu's got a lot of burgers. They got different dip stuff. And they've got chislic, which is something that a lot of people I feel like that aren't from the Midwest really haven't had. So it'd be cool if people try that.
Nice.
Yeah, which is such a weird thing, but that's something we kind of take for granted around here.
Sure.
So I wanted to try to expand on that one. And then Westside Glass at Emporium, they're working on getting me some live glass blowers again. We're going to have some different art and stuff like that going. But Oracle's going to be here. She's going to be helping out with some of her art stuff and photography. And then, of course, Rob's going to come down with all the CDs and all the stuff, bring all the Minnesota love with all the band stuff there.
Oh, yeah.
And what else? I feel like I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, you guys had the glass blowers last year, and then you had the one cat who did that metal art stuff. That was really cool too. He was a really cool guy. I ended up getting to talk to him. I was just like sweating with my camera bag, and like he's like, "Hey man, come over here and sit down if you want." You know, a super cool guy. The glass blowers were a really nice touch because you never, you know what I mean? Like during a festival, you never get to, you know, like just kind of relax, kind of walk around, check some stuff out. I really enjoyed the glass blowing. It was really cool, and they had a lot of cool stuff with them too.
Yeah, Leonard and LS have been fantastic to deal with. They definitely help support. They're actually going to be getting the Southern Dakota stuff up on one of the big I-29 billboards. I believe we're supposed to go live this week, so that'll be crazy to see like this little death metal idea I had up on those billboards. But they're so supportive, and it's fascinating to watch their art come to life.
Yeah.
You know, I never really see that much live glass blowing, but it's fascinating what they can do. I've always admired it, but to see it come together is just nuts.
Yeah, I think the guy was doing some crazy marbles and some crazy neck pendants and stuff when we were sitting there watching them for a while. It's
yeah, he do those, and I think they do some pipes and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, it's wild.
Now, how does that work as far as you? Do you or the club have to do any kind of logistics behind all of that stuff if they're blowing pipes or doing anything like that in the at the on-site?
No, we don't, because of course it's a tobacco use only.
Right, for sure.
And we have medicinal stuff is already approved in South Dakota, so we haven't had any problems with that. The main thing I really have to do there is just get a sound permit. I mean, other than that, the way my food and liquor license works here is I can already have stuff in the parking lot, so that's not a big deal, which is another, again, perk. I don't have to worry about that. I know some of the places, you have to be, you can't have alcoholic beverages unless it's completely fenced in, like there's certain regulations like that. And the liquor laws can get so confusing different places in town. Not.
Now, is that just because of the zoning, or just because of, like, you guys are right outside downtown? You're not far away from downtown, right?
We're not far away from downtown. It really depends on the kind of liquor license. So to be able to have food and alcohol, you have to have a certain number of your sales be from food. So you have to have more like a restaurant one than just a bar one, which also enables us to have like the all ages shows and stuff like that. Whereas some of the like a downtown club, everything has to be pretty much 21 plus.
Oh yeah. Now, from the previous years, are there any like bands that really stick out? Are there any kind of crazy stories that you got from previous years that stick out in your head?
Okay, we've seen some wild stuff. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think on that one. I think we're definitely gonna have a good time, and I do think there's a lot of fresh faces this year. Anger Rock just came out with their new CD. If you missed their CD release party, that one was pretty wild. There's some killer music. I do think it's be really awesome to be able to catch tomorrow. They've got that completely done. I think they were still working on it when you were here last time with that backdrop. That's going to make for some definitely interesting pictures and videos.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about...
It on stage antics. What's that?
Are you talking about the big Mario symbol over there against the wall?
Yeah, they've got the wall completely done now. That's going to be pretty wild.
You know how I wish I would have counted how many times people were running over against the wall and like jumping underneath. So for people who don't know, on the what is that? Is it like a shopping center, or like a rental place next door or something?
In Houston, they do a lot of mechanical stuff. I usually go there and rent a cherry picker or a trailer. I've rented some trailers. That's what I've done some other wild stuff with them before, but it's more like machine-based stuff. It's not going to be like where you're going to go buy your hammers and drills at.
Right. Yeah, it's got like forklifts and like huge baskets and JLGs and things like that in the parking lot. But their entire wall is like a Mario mural. It's huge. It's like the first level of Mario. It's got the poles with the flag and the perfect. That was so cool. And what was that? 2 years? 2 years ago they started that?
No, that was last year. They were still just finishing it up.
Wow.
Lauren did it. Yeah, she did a fantastic job. And Dan Houston actually tracked her down. That's what she does for a living. Is just travel around and do this. She's really, really cool chick. And they picked out everything they wanted, and she came down actually from Fargo and painted it all up, and it turned out really well. It's interesting to me because I do feel like it does my business more good than theirs. A lot of people that come,
Yeah.
Well, there's going to be more likely to be like, oh, we're here, let's go have a beer, instead of like, oh, we're here, let's go grab a forklift, It's just kind of interesting business decision for them, but I'm really grateful because I really do like the way it turned out.
Yeah, it's really cool, and I can't say enough good things about the staff at Biggs. Everybody there has been super cool. I think I've seen maybe 4 or 5 of the same bartenders like 3 years in a row. So it's like
we don't have any turnover.
Yeah, it's like a family that you see every year, and they're good people, and they take care of you. Man, I lost a bunch of shit last year from my camera bag, and man, people were like helping me walk around and find it, and it ended up being kind of in the corner where they had like the overstock of the water and all of that shit. It was like tucked in a box, and I was freaking out because it was like my camera strap and some other stuff, and one of the guys behind the bar he seemed as hungover as I was the second day, and he's like, "Geez, man, I don't think anybody really turned anything in or anything like that." And we just kind of walked over by the machines over there, and he's like, "Hey, is this it right here?" And I'm like, "Oh, holy shit, you found it!" So
that's awesome.
Such cool people too, man, and really like making sure everybody's good, and I've seen people get cut off a couple times just to make sure they're functionable. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's some water for you, bud. Have a seat. But
yeah, and I mean they're pretty reasonable about it. I mean we are a family. We've cut each other off a couple times here and there when we've needed to, and it's always just we want you to be safe. It's not anything else.
Yeah, for sure.
Nobody, especially when you're out drinking and the heat on and off. I mean, the alcohol can catch up to you real quick, and that's one of the things with being in June this year. I'm curious to see how the weather's going to turn out for me. I'm a little nervous, but we'll make the best of it. And since I can move all the pool tables out, if I have to move it all in, I'll figure it out.
Right. Now, if you have to do that, is that just something that you'll be able to accommodate everybody, or like keep the thing going?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, when we're fully set up and we're not doing shows, we have 13 pool tables in there. And a lot of them are tucked off in corners and stuff, but you don't even realize it's normally a pool hall.
No shit.
Yeah, those suckers are heavy to move, too. I'm not looking forward to that. We still have a summer league starting, I think, the week after Dakota again. Maybe that week, knowing my luck. But what I usually do is I call music service, and I have them haul them all the way out. So I have that extra vendor room, and I have that extra space. Like if I need to move stuff, I can.
Oh,
it's just such a workable area.
So that one corner, and then if you're looking at the stage to the right, I've seen you store a bunch of stuff in that corner, like just where bands load in and out right there.
Mm-hmm.
So
I have stuff over there. Sometimes I just try to keep that curtain up and have them keep the drum kits back there, or whatever else.
Right.
I've got a green room back there. Like it is just a huge space.
Yeah, it's massive, man. Way bigger than I even imagined it was. With the curtains up and everything, I guess you don't really realize how big the venue actually is. If you have not been to Biggs Bar in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, 3110 West 12th Street, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, 57104. You have to check it out. They have a lot of great shows coming through. Now, this isn't the only show that you do periodically through the year, right? You do a lot of stuff over there.
Yeah, I mean, I just announced I need to keep my page up, actually. I have Narcotic Waste and Gorgon Truck coming through in August. I've got a lot of country coming out till then. I'm not going to lie to you there. A lot of stuff country. We got some rap and hip-hop. I do a couple charity shows every year. Of course, Crap is one of my favorites. I love the charity ones.
Nice.
We just did an art show 2 weekends ago. I had hip hop one night, midget wrestling the next, an art show the next day, and the country the night after that. Like the non-stop variety. Our website is usually pretty up to date, and that's where you can follow a lot of the stuff as well as our social media. But it's just whatever you're in the mood for, I probably got it coming up.
Awesome. That's fantastic. And you have built that up into a circuit too. I mean, I know bands from the Twin Cities here that have headed out towards you and had a fucking blast and come back and just have sang your praises. Slam Mama's the one that take care of the business over there, and everybody always has a good time. And it's great to have a home away from home, knowing that you're going to be taken care of. I know when I was playing in a band, that was like one of the biggest things, man. when you find another venue and a very cool booker and, you know, someone that you can swap bands with and book shows through, that's always a plus. So thank you very much from the music scene over here to you.
Oh, I'm just really grateful for you guys. It's come away from home anytime I get to actually leave and go and hang out with you guys at the show. Speaking of Fest, I'm really hoping to make it up for Natalie's Fest. I'm excited to see that she's keeping that sucker going. I know it's stressful I can be.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's working on it hard, man. And she's, you know, I'm sure you guys are working together. You did mention.
Oh yeah. We talked plenty.
Yeah. The Necrotic Wasteland. I know that's one of their bands as well. And, through Ashley there and Pyrexia as well. Right.
Yes, they are as well. And, we're trying to do some stuff with them too. And a couple other ones that have recently gotten signed. Malignancy, I know is with them now.
Yeah,
I have to look at the roster.
Bludgeon
I get
just
so many
signed with those guys
rosters in my
too.
head.
Oh, I bet. I can't even imagine.
Oh, yep.
I can't even imagine all the stuff you got going on. It sounds like you're constantly booked. Hey, and that was something really cool last year too. You had you had the one lady that was painting and doing stuff in the corner previous.
Oh, Sam, she's always there.
Yeah, previous years, but you had a guy that had some amazing paintings last year. This dude had like.
Oh, is it Adrian?
Yeah, young
curly hair guy.
Yep. He had had like dragons and all kinds of really cool shit, man.
Yeah, he has some crazy artwork. I believe he'll be back this year too. I will work on confirming that this week. I got a couple of loose ends to tie up as we get closer here, which moving it closer just makes it seem like it's still be months away.
Right.
But I'm also kind of excited to kick off the festival season this year and not have it the same weekend as there's 20,000 other things in Sioux Falls.
Yeah, I mean, this weekend's the Milwaukee Metal Fest. How do you feel about that? Did you ever make it to that fest back in the day?
I did not. That was not a thing back when I was really starting to get involved in the extreme music world.
Yeah,
I'm excited. That's a lot of bands. That's a lot of work. I hope that's not a one-man show too, or I'd probably lose my mind there. Like I've gotten it down. I went and helped on 50,000 tons of metal, and like learning to ask for help is definitely something you need to get better on. But taking on something like Milwaukee or that by yourself, it's just insane.
Yeah, insane. I couldn't imagine doing something like that. Holy shit! There's a lot of bands and a lot of, you hear people now. What are tickets going for the Slam Dakota Fest? We're doing
$50 for a weekend pass if you buy them ahead of time.
That is a killer deal for the amount of bands. Now, if you're looking at the flyer as we're talking here, I've got it pulled up on the screen here. If you're looking at that flyer, each one of those bands, if you did 4 or 5 of those bands at $15 to $20 a piece, you are actually getting a killer deal for all of those bands for $50 for 2 days of just extreme metal, blow your eardrums out, and some of the coolest people to party with. That again, Biggs is a fun place to go, fun place, all good people. This is fantastic. And you said you and Miguel. And you're kind of affiliated with the other 2 festivals as well, right?
Yeah, me, Miguel, and Skylar have all been working together on doing the Trifecta Brutality to be able to have some of the bands link up with us a little bit easier to play all 3 festivals and then to really just support each other and be there. We have a group chat where when we're frustrated, we can just go and we all understand exactly what it's like and where we're all ready to pitch.
Right.
And Miguel has just really spearheaded us all and been such a fantastic motivator and leader for us and helping us to create this all into something where we can make the Midwest somewhere where metal can really thrive at.
Yeah.
Take it back from the coast and be like, it's about the Midwest death metal scene. There's so many killer bands out here. There's so much good music out here and supporters of it, but it's easier to have somewhere we can all come together and, be able to set up booths at each other's events or whatever else we need to do, help each other with the media and marketing and brainstorming, and having that kind of support and family is really, really fantastic.
Hell yeah, man! When you're working together with some solid people now Miguel, that cat has taken that Chicago Fest to another level, man. He's got VIP sellouts and fucking A, man. The last time I went out there, man, that stage was amazing, man, with the big lit background and
I am so excited to be back. We're going to be back there this year again. I was on the phone with him for a couple hours the other night brainstorming. the lineup piece done, you know, some of the international stuff just out of my budget yet. Like I'm really focused on getting us thrown up where we can do that kind of stuff and start getting these tours routed through here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're not going to get some of the stuff, guys.
Yeah, I can imagine it's a pretty penny to get all of those plane tickets and get everybody set to get here too, man. Whew.
Well, I also feel like that's part of what makes the festivals and stuff like that so important is that people are hearing that there are venues out here again. You know, when we lost the Riot Room in Kansas City and we lost some of the places in Minneapolis, we're not getting some of the same tour packages we used to in this area.
For sure. Yep, for sure.
It's going to be, you know, there's new agents and they're missing out on a lot of territory that they could be, you know, having a day off. Why don't you just have a quick night, have a good show, and then keep on the road?
Yeah.
But we got to be able to prove to them that it's worth it too.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I think there's a handful of us here that are, you know, in the Midwest that are trying to do good things and push some of this local and national stuff around. And I love it so much, man. I wish we would have done one of these so much sooner. You know, like coming and experiencing it is really, it's a better of a testament where I can relate a little bit more. And I think I have every year I've gone, I've come back licking wounds like, holy shit, I just got my ass kicked in the pit or you know what I mean? You know, having such a good time. I mean, yeah, each year that I've gone out there, that I always blow the party load like the first night. It's like I talk to some people and go, that's why we don't party hard on the first night. We go hard on the second night so we can recover at the brunch the next day.
Well, and that's really my goal this year. I'm not starting it as early on Friday. I think I've got doors at like 5 or 5:30, so people kind of wander in. I think my first band goes on at like 6:30.
Yeah.
And we're going to be done, hopefully around midnight, 12:15-ish, so we can get a little bit of sleep, because then doors going to be at 3 o'clock on Saturday, and then Saturday is going to fall off the wall. That's going to be our busy day. We're going to be music from 4 p.m. to whenever we're done.
Yeah. And those are long days, man. That's a fun day to keep you. You definitely have a bangover when you're done. Constantly throwing down, man, throwing down. Now, has the attendance been growing through the years? Now, this is your 6th one, for God's sakes.
Yeah. Honestly, first couple of years, first year, I don't even think we were paying closer attention. It was just to make sure everybody got paid, have a good time. Second year, I didn't really have a normal door guy, and I'm very, very thankful. I was just singing his praises the other day. Because we had a bunch of people swapping in and out. People forget to count, forget to do this. And if I'd run specials on tickets, they weren't setting those aside separately. You know, stuff like that where it was hard to figure out the numbers at the end of it.
Right.
And now I've got Todd, and now I've got everything organized. And last year we were down a little bit of numbers, but like I said, there was so much stuff going on in town, and it was such a heavy weekend, just even regionally there was stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping this year we have a higher attendance this year, but even every year it's growing enough where I'm still willing to keep doing it. And that's the main thing. I'd have to pay everybody and call it a day. I've got 3 jobs. I don't need to make any money off it. I just want to have fun and hopefully be able to catch some of the bands, catch some good memories out of it.
There's a couple promoters here in the Twin Cities that I talk to on a regular basis, and you know, I've been in this music scene for a little over 35 years, and it's like, you know, sometimes you make a little bit of cash, sometimes you don't, and it's not like you know what I mean? You're not going to quit your job to go do this full time, because Jesus Christ.
No, God, no.
I don't know how people could even think about doing this shit full time. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
It's so strenuous, man. You know, especially doing tour packages, and you're no stranger to that. You know how crazy it is. You know, people with their riders and the contracts and the whole money thing, and you know. You're lucky if you walk away with a little bit, man. But it you know, just hearing you say that after, you know, 6 solid fest, and like, hey, man, I'm not worried about making the money. I'm about having a good time and getting everybody paid and you know, really strengthening your scene. You know what I mean? It's the Midwest scene. You know.
But we're all in this together. If it was just on Sioux Falls, Sioux Falls population-wise, we're not going to make it on our own anyway.
Right.
Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
We're not that big of a town, and we're really relying on everybody to come together for this, which is also why I try so hard to get bands from all over the place and dig deep and find the new stuff and find people who are going to bring people here where we can meet new people and grow together. Where it's going to be like, hey, next year I want to bring this band, or next year I want to try doing this, doing the different things. And I don't know, it's going to be, hopefully we're still doing it in 10 years. We'll see, I guess.
Well, you're what, four shows off, four fests off to hit 10, right? That's
yeah, that's crazy to think about already. I don't need any help feeling old.
Yeah, man, it's that is definitely a milestone to try to get to 10 with something like this. Now, it seems like you've grabbed some bigger headliners through the years. I mean, Skeletal Remains was a pretty good band. What you had, Unmerciful and Malignancy, and boy,
yeah, we've had Dysentery. We've had a local, the regional heavy hitters. We had Introversion, they're still going up, running around. We've had Road headline before, Anchor on headlines.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Hell yeah. Well, I know that you're a busy lady, so I'm not gonna hold you too much here. I just want to say thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to do this podcast real quick and kind of talk about this about the Slam Dakota. Now, how can people get tickets for Slam Dakota Deathfest 6?
I've got tickets available. If you go to the Big Bar website, it's listed on there, and then you can click the event. It'll say get tickets or something like that. Or on Facebook, or if you are near me, or if you're near the bar at all, you can get a hold of either me or the bar. We can do a will call list, or I have physical tickets as well.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. Make sure you get your tickets Friday, June 9th and Saturday, June 10th. This coming up real soon, man. Pyrexia, Abolishment of the Flesh, some Summoning the Lich, Anger Rot. Oh my God, this list is gigantic, and you can see it right on the screen there. Get your tickets real fast, man. Get out there and support some heavy metals and support Slam Mama and the festival here. Thank you so much for doing this, Les. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate your nonstop support and praises. I cannot wait to see you soon.
Woo! We'll see you soon. All right, folks. You heard it from us. Check out Slam Dakota Fest again, Friday, June 9th, Saturday, June 10th at Biggs Bar in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, 3110 West 12th Street, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Get your hotels, get your tickets. Make sure that you're all taken care of. This is going to be a fun fest. Hope to see you folks there. Y'all have a good night. Peace out.
Ritual Madness Podcast. Ritual Madness Podcast. Ritual Madness Podcast.